just the simplest like check and cross. I was like, oh my gosh, I can take on the world with this little anchor variation. And as a kid, that stood out so much to me because I had just been dancing the basic and I lived in this box forever. Third foot position, let's keep it here. And when I started to just even mix it up between third foot position and check and cross, I felt like I had so much variety. And so over the years, I've thought about anchor variations and kind of tried to compartmentalize the different ones I use the most. And I think it's really beneficial for you to attack it in two different ways. And that's going to be just thinking of your anchors as open to close and close to open. And that's what we're going to focus on today. And we're going to try to alternate between. I'm going to show you just a few of my favorite versions of that concept. But before we do that, I want everyone up. I'm going to switch the view here. And I would like you to dance a basic sugar push, push break. I'd like you to dance a basic, and without thinking too much, I want you to do the most basic footwork you know and then anchor at the end. Stop on 6, all right? 5, 6, ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 5, stop here. Not looking at me, look down at your feet. And you can mention in the comments or you can just give me a thumbs up. Did you finish in close? Did you finish in a third foot position, or were you kind of in a lazy first? Did you find yourself kind of close and then step to the side? When I say basic anchor, where did you find your default fell? Just let me know. Because I've been noticing that a lot of dancers that come into the dance later have lost that sense of where home is. And you never get too good to come back home. You never think, oh, well, I'm an advanced dancer now, I'm never going to use home again. I'll tell you, as an advanced, an all-star, even a champion level dancer, we might only do that basic third foot position once. But if you asked us to dance a basic anchor, we would do that. So we would know that this, if this is my vanilla, good, I'm seeing third in the comments, I love it. If that's your vanilla, you have so much contrast to add above and beyond that. But if you've been playing a lot with hooking your anchors, and so you have a tendency to always kind of collect and open up, so then now with every anchor you dance, you find yourself kind of split weight, it really taps into, well, where's the contrast from there? So I just want you to do one more basic for me. We'll do an underarm turn, and I want you to dance an underarm turn and just check. Stop on 4, and I'm just going to guide you into what I would think of going into my basic third. All right, underarm turn, ready, go, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. I'm here over my left foot. I'm usually gliding this right foot in, and the feeling of my arch of my right foot lined up with the heel of my left, that lets me know that my feet are offset. I'm not going to dance it so close that I'm stepping on that weighted heel. So I don't want to feel like my feet are scraping against each other, but I want to know without looking that when I finish, my feet are offset here. And if you look at it from the front, that back foot, it's in a subtle angle. All right. So this is a relaxed third. It's definitely not a ballet third, but I'm not letting myself slide that right foot in and then find myself in first foot position just because I don't realize what my stopping point is with that free right leg. So home is where you anchor correctly. I like this idea very much. Sarah, you know, to me, home is the basic. So home is the slot. Home is, this is a 6-beat move. So I'm going to think of it as 6 beats. Home could be that foot position. And then we're going to teach you how to releve, how to cross in front, kick back, all these other things that we could add to that. If I need to come back home, maybe because I'm getting a little wild, I'm getting overexcited, I'm getting lost in my interpretation, and I feel like I need to bring back West Coast swing, sometimes there's nothing better than just coming back home to a clean basic. I will remind the higher level dancers that as a judge, I don't think you're limited to this basic forever. So if I'm judging intermediate, I'm expecting that you know your basic, and I'm going to see some variations beyond that. If you're an advanced dancer, I'm expecting advanced basics. If you're an all-star champion, I'm expecting champion all-star level basics. So it doesn't mean that you're limited to this. It's just great to know your foundation before you add on, okay? So the first thing I want to add, let's dance an underarm turn, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to face away from me. So when we turn the corner, you'll be facing the screen. We all know our basic underarm turn up until 4, but we're gonna start with open to close. So I'm gonna stop you on 4. Ready, go, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you should have turned the corner. You're now facing me. My thought process in a basic anchor where I'm not changing the connection, I'm not creating double resistance or tightening the rope sooner, my basic thought is that my follower owns count 4. So if you notice, my 4 didn't go side, my 4 didn't go back. It went slightly towards my follow, depending on how big her 4 was or my follower's 4. So as I step into 4, I'm thinking, okay, basic anchor would be here, but I want to do something different. I want to open to close. So I want us to try doing a check step. And again, when I'm thinking a check, that's putting my weight on that 3-toe base, the big toe and the 2 toes next to it. I'm not allowing my center to get to the right foot. And let's just do a check and third. So remember, my definition of check would be that my receiving foot, this right leg, it instantly becomes the sending foot and sends me back so quickly that I don't get to land on it and I don't get to swivel and I don't get to hitch, because this would be a different action, 5 and 6. I love it, but that's different. A check would be to check and come back. And sometimes when you're more of a beginner dancer and you just want to still feel like you're dancing something familiar, it's nice to have some styling and yet you still finish in your basic third, okay? So we're here on count 4 and we're going into that check. Ready, go. Check and third. Make sure that when you check, your feet are turned out, so your right foot has that good turnout. And again, if you're swiveling or pivoting over that foot, it's because you're not dancing it as a check. So that check sends me away from it right away. I don't have to worry about it, okay? So we flip around and we dance an underarm turn. Ready, go, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, check and third. All right? I want to switch to gallery so when I look back, I get to see some of you. Let's try it again. Face away from me. 5, 6, ready, go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. We check and third. So I would think of this as something that's open. All right, it's opening my foot position and it brings me back to closed. I can play with that angle. So if I was doing a push break and I felt very square and I wanted to use this anchor, it might be just to the side. If I was dancing, let's say a whip, and I'll turn to face you, and let's say I was under rotated, so I'm kind of turned into that left shoulder, that check could go towards my partner and away. So that check doesn't have a specific angle. I could be towards, I could be side, I could be kind of back and back. I can play with that rotation and I just let it flow with where I'm at in the dance, yeah? Let's try that again. 5, 6, ready, go, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and check and home. Good. I want to add one layer to this. And if you're a more beginner dancer, I would say you're probably going to stay comfortable just with check and third. But if you want to, I love the check and cross. I just don't dance it the way I learned it the very first time. And that was check and cross 1. And there was something about being in that cross foot position, but I would land really locked, a little too flat. And then I'd find that it felt a little awkward to transition through it. So anytime I do a check and cross, I'll stop on 6 with my right heel up. And then as I roll through that right foot, it creates the touchback. And what's kind of cool about that is if you're crossed in front and you feel the calf of that right leg touching the shin of the left, it almost becomes a slide and glide. As the right heel slides down, it brushes that out. So I love the look that that connection happens through my legs rather than if my legs are wide and I'm kicking out without making that contact. Those little moments matter, yeah? So if this was 4, but when you do your check, we're actually going to take that check and cross it in front. Stop on 6. Ready, go. 5 and stop. When I'm crossed in this position, I'm only landing on the toe base of the right foot. That's the crossing leg. My heel hasn't landed yet. And when you let that heel roll through, kick the left foot out. 1. Now on that touchback, I'd want to see that I'm pointing the toe. So I feel like I have to turn my kneecap out to the left. I have to drop my heel in. Anything that helps you remember not to kick it back like this. I don't want that sickle foot. I don't want a flexed foot kicking back with the heel up. I'm trying to create that line all the way down to the toe. Good, I'll do it once facing you. Get to 4. Here comes our check. Ready, go. 5 and 6. That's that cross position. And as the right heel lands, you touch back for 1. Now, obviously, we're not landing on 1, so I'm going to give you a couple rules. If you did this delayed rhythm, I make my leaders think if this is your 1, you have to touch and 2. You have to do a delayed double. Don't go into a touch and then halfway through think, no, I could land. Don't even go into a touch and put weight in the toe base. This makes you look like you're stuck in between 2 weight transfers and you haven't decided where you want your center. And we see that happen a lot. So we really want to own that if this is a kickback, there's no weight on that left foot. I'm going to own that this is a touch. And then let's say if we were dancing an underarm turn next and 2, that then I would come up onto that left, right. Okay? So let's try this once. I'm facing you, you're facing away from me. Underarm turn, stop on 4. Ready, go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we're about to open, check, but this time we're going to cross. Check and cross. Now stop here. The angle that I create in my body, if I could turn, I feel a little bit rotated left. If I could turn my body just enough on that and a touch, then the right side feels free to lead an underarm turn, to bring my follower in. I could even go from here, touch to the side, and then go back, and now I'm doing a push break. What I don't like the look of is when we really stay in this angle of the left shoulder, and then we do touch back facing almost this way, and we try to then do an underarm turn. That looks like I'm contradicting my body with what I want to lead. So if I was so over-rotated that I found myself here, I would probably ditch the idea of a touchback and I'd lead a left side pass. So watch that from the front. When I check and cross and I end up really turned in, I continue in that direction. If I find that on my cross, I can kind of square things up, and then by my touchback, now I've opened up my right side a little, I have the option of doing the underarm turn. All right, so that's what we're going for. So try this again, facing that way. We're going to try 2 underarm turns back to back, and we'll only get to 2 of the next one. Ready, go. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Check and cross, touch 1 and 2. And then you're back to your basic, dancing it through. Yes? So you did 2 different versions there. You have check and third, which I would dance all the time. And that's easier because open to close and being on my right foot lets me just walk. If you go check and cross, you're now committing to this delayed double, which I think looks great, but we have to know that if we hold 1, we're always going to finish with that syncopation. Yeah. Feel it one more time. Go to 4. And when you do your check and cross this time, I want your touch to go to the side instead of back diagonal. So from 4, ready, go. 5 and 6, touch 1. I touch to the side when I plan on falling back. And that makes the transition into sugar push so much easier, or tuck turn, because a lot of dancers, they do this kickback and then they don't know which direction to go, but they want to lead a sugar push next. So I find them kick back and they're like, they're on their toes, they're kind of wobbly. I want to feel like if I'm kicking back, it's to load the forward. If I'm kicking side, it's almost because I plan to always fall back from that basic. Yeah. So one more time, but this time you're going to lead underarm turn and push break. Still with the touch. Is someone off mute because you have a question? Is it beautiful, Sandy? Because I see your pretty picture. Do you have a question for me, Sandy, or do you just want to say hi?
No, am I not muted?
You're not, but we can have a private conversation. No one will notice.
I just turned off my wireless headphones because I'm home now. But you're doing great, Jordan. I've been watching.
Thanks for the encouragement. I'll keep going.
Okay.
So we're doing underarm turn. I'm facing this way and then to the push break. But remember, leaders, this time I was just going to have you try a side touch. Yeah? 5, 6, ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Check and cross, touch side, step, step, triple step, triple step. Thumbs up if you got that. Yeah, thumbs up, so. One of my favorites with that is if you ever feel like you're going in and away, the touchback makes it look confident that you know you're not going to get there, but you can own it with that reach. I don't like it when I see someone come in too close and then they look frantic to try to land on their 1. So that's why I think a touchback is so great. Plus it comes from our roots, so it has a little bit of a Lindy look. We just adapted a little bit by pointing that toe, placing it on the ground, always being aware of that line and where it goes next in the transition, yeah? So those are both open to close, all right? Let's do one more, why not? Open to close. Let's do push break stop on 4. Ready, go, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Another open to close would be to go out, out, so right, left, and I'm kind of relevating up on my toes, out, out. I'm going to go left, right, back into 3rd and close. So from 4 again, when I went up, I'm thinking up, up, and back into 3rd. And that's me just square to my partner, feeling like I want to stylize, but I maybe don't have any rotation because of the pattern. So the underarm turn, it gives me some angles. It lets me play with that rotation. But a lot of times in push break, I feel like, gosh, I'm so square, there's nothing inspiring, so maybe I'll just dance my basic. And that's why I love that option of, but I can go out, out. I can kind of lift and hit the music and then come back. So try that again. Push break with our out, out. Ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Out, out, and close. We make sure that if we're thinking open to close, meaning we went open here, I don't want to go and split weight. I want to know what home is, and home would be falling back into that 3rd. Yes, so there is a level change. And I always like a releve as a level change because I think so many of us, when we think level change, we drop. But a lot of times leaders don't realize that just going up on your toes, it's a good way to bring out the music. Followers, a lot of times when you travel back on an anchor and I see you go and 5, that's so visual right in front of me that I can pick up on that level change. So remember, everyone just go up on your toes to just releve up onto your toe base. That's just a really good option. But when we go up, up, stabilize that. So think of it as uphold rather than bounce, bounce. So I'd like you to think that your top line, once you go up, that you're able to freeze. Good, so try that again. Push break. And this is again an open to close. Ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Up, up, and 3rd. Good. So let's see here. If I was dancing an underarm turn, 1, 2, 3, and a 4, check and 3rd. Now I did a push break, and I'm going to do up, up, and 3rd. And then let's say I did a whip, and I do my little check and cross touch. They're all open to close, but I feel like they're giving me a lot of variety. So I want us to try that really slow. All right, underarm turn first, and we're doing just our simple check and 3rd. We'll stop after that. Ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Check, stop here. We'll put the push break in between just to make it feel different. Ready, go, push break. We're about to go up, up, and 3rd. And then now we're leading the whip, but this time we're going to check and cross. Ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 5, 6, check and cross, touch back, step, step. And I would always practice anytime you do a touch back, just do your and 2, your a 2. From here, lead yourself either into a push break or lead yourself into an underarm turn, just to show that you know the rhythm is never touch to, I'm lost, and I'm going downhill. Yes? All right, so let's try that again. Underarm, push break, and whip. All open to closed. 5, 6, ready, go. And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Just the check. Push break. 2, 3, and a 4. Up, up. And third. Now whip. 3 and a 4, 5, 6. Check and cross. Touch, step, step. Clap if you got it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I see some so-sos. That's okay. Your excuse is you only had 30 minutes. So I'm just switching so I see some more faces. Okay, let's try one more time and then we'll jump into the other side. 5, 6, underarm turn, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, check, and third, push break, 2, 3, and a 4, out, out, and third, whip, 2, 3, and a 4, 5, 6, check and cross, kick and step. Good, 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 good. So to me, that's just anchor variation. All the rest was a basic. But if I had danced underarm turn, sugar push, and whip, it would have looked very different. Do you agree? So if I had done it without the anchor variations. So again, those basics are great. That's our home. And then how do you start adding styling? The styling can be in many other places, but sometimes just stylizing your anchors will make a difference. So all of those were getting our feet open, getting our feet apart, and coming in. Let's say you're like, okay, I know the checks, I know the openings. I want to do some ones where I finish without being enclosed. Because I remember one thing I started to feel early on in my dancing is I'm always in third or I'm always cross, but everything looks tight-legged, which doesn't give me maybe a strong base. So sometimes I would want now the contrast to that. And all I think about when I dance that is, well, now I want to close and open. So whether I hook and open, whether I cross and open, even if I ronde that leg through into an opening, that's a great variation. Now, what I prefer, what most of the pros prefer, is that delayed rhythm coming next. It's not necessary. You can learn it as a basic first. So everyone get to 4, and let's just say slightly in front, weights on the left foot. And based on a slight opening of my right shoulder here, just slight, so I'm not perfectly square. I feel like I'm open a little with my hips. Hooking behind feels more natural. If I was here, maybe crossing in front would feel more natural. But because I just stepped right into it, I found the right foot trailing. Okay, let's hook. So if we go into our hook, 5 and 6. Now with my feet apart here, I can bring this through and step 1. That is an option. So try that and let's go into our 1. If we hit 4, hook, 5 and 6 and a 1. I can dance that and still do my walk. Notice as I'm hooking, I'm trying to face my partner through that hook. So it gives me a little contra body. I'm not dancing this. And when a lot of dancers that came from ballroom or jive had trouble with wanting to hook all their anchors, teachers almost wanted to take all the hooks out of the triples. But the thing that we dance a lot, if you've ever danced nightclub two-step, is that feeling of staying square while you hook a triple. I will face my partner through that without gluing this right shoulder, hip, and foot all in unison and dancing at non-contra. So I will face my partner through that triple and feel comfortable and natural doing that. And that's why sometimes you'll have your teachers drill some of those shoulders rolling in opposition of your feet. Yes, I see some of you practicing now. Awesome. So if you get to 4, let's hook and step out. Ready, go. 5 and a 6 and a 1. Good. Do it again, but let's under rotate the 4. So now I'm turned into my left shoulder. So that means that when I danced this underarm turn, I didn't make it all the way around. I found myself a little bit twisted inside. So we'd call that an under rotation. So now I'm going to cross in front. Cross and open. Now, if you notice, we still have to anchor. So I can't go cross and parallel. That doesn't get any distance. It's still my job to get away and to create the feeling of what home was. Even though my feet are going to be a little more apart, I have to still feel like I'm dancing away and finding some distance. So try that again with the under rotation. This is 4. Ready, go. 5 and a 6. Good. And then again, I wouldn't want to transition with the legs on 2 separate tracks. So I would drag that foot in and it would be smooth. They wouldn't have to click or touch. It would come in and go through. What always feels better is if you could buy just a little more time. So our favorite in this transition would be to go cross and split weight, right heel off the floor, and keep shifting, and this becomes 1 and 2. So I'm going to fade through that movement. So I want you to try that. If this was 4 and we're crossing in front, ready, go. 5 and 6, 1 and 2. I love the delayed rhythm, kind of like what you practice with your touchback. I love that out of these close to opens, just because I don't feel like I'm in any rush to transfer weight and get out. So I'm now stretching away 1 and 2, just building a little more fluidity through that. Yeah? So let's try that once. About 5 to 7 minutes left. Aaron, I just saw your message. Who's after me?
You have as much time as you need. Keep going. As long as everybody's fine, they can leave when they need to.
Did you buy the full price? Do you get cut off?
No, you
have a full membership?
No, there's no cutoff. We have the 500 group and everything. You're good.
I'm kidding you. So I'll keep you for 2 or 3 more minutes. All right?
Yeah, please.
So underarm turn. Here we go. 5, 6, ready, go. And 1, 2, stop right here. Without even me calling it out, do you feel like crossing or do you feel like hooking? It would depend on the rotation of your body. I feel like crossing. Ready, go. 5 and 6. Now, if you feel split weight on 6, you should keep transitioning and hold count 1 and step out for your 2. If you feel like you can complete your weight transfer and go, and you feel like your partner's with you, then you can take your walk. Let's try that again. This time, no stopping. Underarm and push break, but you're doing close to open, whether you decide to hook or cross. Ready, go. And 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Good. So to feel putting those back to back, I'm going to have you dance an underarm turn. You're going to close to open, up to you. Depending on how much you turn the corner, it's either a hook or a cross. You're going to dance a push break, and you're going to do open to closed, whatever you want of either side. So I'm going to dance underarm turn. I'm crossing and I'm stretching. I go into my push break, and now I don't want to do it again, even though maybe it's my favorite and I love the flow of it. I don't want to repeat myself. So some people just have to think, gosh, let's go back to basic. Let's reset. But some of us would think, no, I have that opposite looking styling of now going open to closed. So that's what you're going to dance. Underarm and push break, but the 2 anchors have to switch. Here we go. 5, 6, ready, go. And 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, push break, and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Good. Now let's say dance a whip and stop on 6. Ready, go. And 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, stop here. What do I feel like? Well, my feet are kind of apart. I feel kind of split weight, but I'm going to own this by going up, up. So I could go up, up, and third. And the thought behind that was, gosh, my legs are open. I don't want to get stuck here. I want to make it look like I own that, but I want to finish with something that's the opposite. And leaders, sometimes I'm thinking about this ahead of time. Sometimes I'm just aware that, let's say I've been doing a lot of play. So I've been giving my followers space. I've been supporting weight. All those moments are wide. The stance is leverage, it's posing. And you start to feel like this. When you've done that a lot, your first basic out of it shouldn't be one of these. It shouldn't be close to open into another big wide step. So if you feel like you've been positioned constantly like this, right away I'm thinking close, cross, check and cross, something that gives some contrast to what I was just doing before. Yeah? So let's try underarm turn and push break, but let's do both close to open. Underarm turn, push break, close to open. Ready? Go. And 1, 2, 3 and 4, close to open. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, close to open. I want you to start dancing to this, and I want you to feel like it just adds another set of ideas. But if you're having trouble thinking, am I alternating enough? You can always come back to home in between. I'm never in my dance thinking open to close, close to open, open to, I'm never alternating every single time. Usually it's a feeling of those past few basics have started to feel a little too wide-legged, or past few basics, everything I'm dancing feels tiny, little pitter-patter. Maybe I want to go into a stretch and get something to create contrast in my feet, yeah? So here's the string of basics, and then you will have graduated. You're going to do an underarm, a push break, and a whip, but you can't repeat any of them through those 3 basics. So underarm turn, push break, and whip, you could always use open to close. So open to close. You could always close and open, and you can always come back to home, but you have to do one of the different ones through each basic. Yes? Here we go. Underarm, push break, and whip. I'm going to go from the side just so I can keep peeking at the screen. 5, 6, underarm first. Stand 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, push break, 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, now whip, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. How are we doing? Now, overall, when you dance these, you'll sometimes feel like, gosh, the whip flows best into this one. I feel that way too. I have certain patterns that just tend to have a nice fluidity. My body's angled this way. Personally, I'm not a big fan of push break and then forcing across in front. So for me, it doesn't make sense. I'm so square here that usually I'm doing some type of check or I'm doing some out. Maybe I would hook behind, but it's rare. I'm usually using the hook or the cross on patterns that take me across the slot, and that flow just makes so much sense to go with it in the direction I'm turning. Left side pass. Left side pass doesn't make me want to hook behind. So I'm dancing a left side pass and I'm already turning this way. It makes me want to keep turning left and go into my check. So left side pass into check and cross to me makes total sense because I'm turning the corner right into it. So you'll start to find that some feel best for you for this moment. Some feel a little forced. Some are yours and you own it already, and some they're going to take time. But I would just suggest learn the ones that make you slightly uncomfortable, because it's such a great teamwork moment. Let's say you're not big on going out, and then you have that one follower who does it. You lead your follower in a tuck turn. Your follower comes out of the turn and right then they go out. And I have so many followers hit this break and they pop up, and I'm thinking, gosh, I want to do that with them. And even if it's something I don't dance, I should have it in my toolbox as something I could use. Yeah? So I kept you 7 minutes longer, but give yourselves a big hand.